Okay, welcome back to the class. Before the break, we were discussing about the mechanism involved in smelling or in detecting the smell. It's already told you, already explained to you, odoriferous substances or smell molecules enter the nasal cavity along with inspired air. And in the upper part of the nasal cavity, there is a thin layer of mucus secreting gland. These odoriferous substances dissolve in the mucus. And there is, you can see in the picture on the screen, there are olfactory receptors on the upper part of the nasal cavity. Olfactory receptors placed on the upper part of. They stimulate the olfactory receptors. These stimulations of the olfactory receptors are connected to an olfactory bulb, and the olfactory bulb is connected to olfactory nerve. Olfactory nerve carry the impulses to the cerebrum, where this information is processed, and so that we are able to detect the smell. Now, based on what we discussed, we can see a question. Given is a figure of an olfactory receptor. Question is to identify parts A, B and C. And there is one more question. Mention the role of ABC in the formation of olfactory sensation. Let us see what is the answer of the question. A is mucus, B is olfactory receptor, and C is olfactory nerve. Then the role explained to you already. Odoriferous substances or the smell molecules dissolve in the mucus. Then they stimulate the olfactory receptors. The olfactory receptors are connected to the olfactory nerve. Olfactory nerve carry the stimulus to the brain. With the interpretation of the brain, we are able to detect the smell. Olfactory particles enter the nose along with the air, dissolve with the mucus and reach the olfactory receptors. Olfactory receptors are stimulated and impulses are formed. These impulses are carried to the brain through the olfactory nerve. Suppose the question is, suppose if there is an excess mucus, for example, suppose if you are suffering from fever or suffering from cold, there is an excess secretion of the mucus. Will it affect the olfactory reception or will it affect the smell? That is a question. Answer is yes, it will affect, because if there is an excess mucus, the smell molecules do not reach the olfactory receptor, so that we are not able to detect the smell. This is what happens when we are suffering from cold. So, when we are suffering from cold, we are not able to detect the smell of the substance or the molecules. It is because of the excess secretion of the mucus. The odoriferous substances do not reach the olfactory receptor, so that we are not able to detect the smell. Now, let us go to the next sense organ, that is tongue. Tongue can register taste. You can see that on the surface of the tongue there are small bumps, and these bumps are called papilla. There are two types of papilla which are present on the surface of the tongue. You can see in the picture, one is large round papillae and the second one is thin cone shaped papillae. What is the function of the large round papillae is it contains taste buds. When we are eating certain substances, these substances first dissolve in the saliva and then they reach the taste buds. The taste receptors get stimulated and the stimulus is carried to the brain. So that is a function of the large papilla which are present on the surface, large papilla. There are two types of, actually papillae are small bumps which are present on the surface of the tongue. There are two types of papillae. One is a large one, round papillae, they are responsible for detecting the taste, and the second one, small cone shaped papillae, and these cone shaped papillae are responsible for getting the feel of the food. Now let us see. These are the taste buds. These taste buds are placed in a small hole in the papilla. You can see the next picture, you can see the correct position of the taste buds. Papilla are small bumps that cover the surface of your tongue. The taste buds are placed embedded on either side of the papilla. You can see in yellow color the taste buds. So the taste buds are embedded in the sides of the papilla. When we are taking or when we are eating something, the molecules dissolve in the saliva. These molecules reach the taste buds and the taste buds get stimulated. There you can see in the picture taste pore opening to the taste buds, and at the other end of the taste bud there is a taste receptor, and this taste receptor is connected to the nerve which carry the taste stimulations to the brain. Then our tongue can detect 4 tastes. They are sweet, salt, sour and bitter. Now let us see the position of the taste receptors or the position of these 4 primary tastes. These are called the primary tastes. First one, sweet. The position of the sweet receptor is at the tip of the tongue. At the same time, bitter, the taste of bitter, that is placed at the back of the tongue, and on the 2 sides, salt and sour. Here you can see exactly the position of the 4 primary tastes, and quite naturally you will be asking a question: if these are the 4 primary tastes, then what about the taste of sambar? The taste of sambar is a secondary taste created by the cerebrum from the primary taste. Just like there are 3 primary colors, blue, green and red. Other colors are obtained by the combination of the primary colors in different proportions. In the same way, the other taste that our tongue can detect is obtained from the primary taste, or it is created by the cerebrum from the primary taste. So here you can see on the screen the position of the 4 primary tastes: sour, bitter, sweet and salty. Then this diagram tells us that there are certain factors which determine the taste of the food. First is the smell. So taste depends on the smell. So smell is one of the factors which determine the taste of the food. That is why when we are suffering from cold, it's already told you, there is an excess secretion of the mucus in the nasal cavity. It blocks the smell receptors so that we are not able to detect the smell. When we are not able to detect the smell, then we feel or we do not feel the taste of the food also, because smell is one of the factors that determine the taste. So the taste depends on smell. The second one is sight, the sight of the food. That is another factor which determine the taste. And the third factor which determine the taste of the food is temperature of the food. So it's a point to remember, the taste depend on three factors. One is smell, second one sight, and the third one it is the smell. So these are the three factors which determine the taste of the food. Now let us see a question based on what we have discussed. Here there is a figure, and you have to identify the picture and also the two parts A and B, and also you have to prepare a flow chart showing the sensation of the taste, or the flow chart is given and you will have to make the corrections. First, let us see what is the answer of the question 1. Identify the picture. It is taste bud. Then second question, identify the parts A and B. A is minute pores to the taste buds. So food molecules enter the taste buds through these minute pores so that they have to dissolve with the saliva. That means if there is no saliva, then we cannot. If a substance is not soluble in the saliva, that substance is not, the taste of that substance is not detected. Then the taste receptors, when they get stimulated, this stimulus is carried by the nerve to the brain. Now let us see the flow chart showing the sensation of the taste. The flow chart is not correct. The question is to correct the mistakes in the flow chart. Let us see what is the answer. The correct answer is food particles dissolve in saliva, taste receptors are stimulated, and these stimulus creates impulses, and these impulses are carried by the nerve to the taste center in the cerebrum, and with the interpretation of the taste center in the cerebrum, we are able to detect the taste. Now see the next question. Name the primary taste. The four primary tastes are sweet, sour, bitter, and salt. These are the four primary tastes. Now let us move to the next sense organ. It is the largest sense organ in our body. It's skin. It covers the entire body. If you examine the structure of the skin, you can see that it consisting of one or two layer of cells which are dead cells, and below that, below the two layer of the cells, there are nerves, blood vessels, sweat gland, and sebaceous gland. Now let us see the function of each. Sweat glands produce sweat. Sweat is produced by the body as a mechanism to maintain the temperature of the body, or in order to get a cooling effect to the body. Then sebaceous gland secrete an oily substance that maintain the texture of the skin. Then let us see what are the receptors which are present in the skin. Skin can register 5 senses. They are: 1. Touch receptor. Second one, cold receptor. And the third one, pressure. Fourth one, heat receptor. And fifth one, pain. So skin is a sense organ. Skin is the largest sense organ since skin covers the entire body surface, and skin can register 5 senses. They are touch, cold, pressure, heat, and pain. You can see the receptors of each of these sensations. But one point to remember here is, on the skin there are no special receptors for registering pain. For registering pain, there are no special receptors. For the touch, there are special receptors. The distribution of these receptors is not uniform on the skin. Certain part is very sensitive to touch. For example, we know that the tip of the finger or the tip of the nose is very sensitive to touch. It's because there are more touch receptors which are present on certain part of the body, like the tip of the finger and the tip of nose. Then there are special receptors for registering cold, pressure and heat. And quite naturally you will be asking a question, without a receptor how is it possible to detect the pain? In order to detect pain, or all the sensory nerve endings directly register pain. There are no special receptor for registering pain. All the sensory nerves can directly register pain. So once again remember, skin is the largest sense organ. Skin can register 5 senses. Out of these 5 senses, all the four touch, cold, pressure and heat, there are special receptors, but for the pain there are no special receptor. All the sensory nerve endings directly register pain. Now let us see a question based on it. Identify the odd one and give justification. Heat, cold, touch, pain and pressure. It's already explained to you. Out of these 5 sensations, there are no special receptor for registering pain. So pain is the odd one because there are no special receptors for registering the pain. Then analyze the following habits based on the health of the sense organs. First question, cleaning the tongue strongly. Suppose if you are cleaning the tongue strongly by using a tongue cleaner, then how does it affect the sensation? It causes damage to the papillae, or it causes damage to the taste buds, so that it's not a good habit. Then the second point, use of beauty creams. It has only limited application because the skin derives the nourishment from inside the body, not from outside the body. So the application of the most of the beauty creams have only limited application, as the skin derive the nourishment from inside the body. The next one, listening. It's a common observation that most of the children, they plug in that they listen the music very loudly, that may cause damage to the eardrum. One more question. The topic for class seminar is health of sense organs and modern lifestyle. Write any 4 suggestions you would recommend to maintain the health of the skin. 1. Skin derive the nourishment from inside the body, so that eat a healthy diet. Second one, protect yourself from the sun. Third one, treat your skin gently. That means while taking bath, don't use harsh or rough soap. And the fourth one is, do not smoke. Smoking makes your skin look altered. So we will wind up. I hope you enjoyed the class, and we will be continuing in the next class. Thank you.